Witnesses described the scene as chaotic and said that it appeared that the gunman was firing randomly. Some said that he suddenly appeared from behind a stage and began to shoot. And one witness described to our San Francisco station when the gunman began shooting at her and her family.
As soon as I saw the clip go in the gun and I heard it again, I just started running. So we ran the opposite way. Then all of a sudden I started to panic. Where's my granddaughter? Where's my granddaughter? I didn't know what to do. So we ran around and I hid behind this car and I didn't know where he was. I didn't know. I just kept hearing shots. And then so it stopped. And then I panicked. So I started to run towards the tent. And then I saw her over in the next tent. Somebody had grabbed both of them and put them under shelter, right? And then my boss and her husband were laying on the ground. They were both shot. I mean, he's in critical condition. They're both in surgery right now. I don't know what's going on.
So CBS News correspondent Jamie Yuccas is joining us now from Gilroy. All right, Jamie, what's been the reaction there so far? As I understand it, this is, generally a small town, but this is the festival of the summer. People come from not only all over the country, but people come from other parts of the world to the garlic capital to enjoy themselves here.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a very fun event. This is a town of about 58,000 people, Anne-Marie, but on the three-day festival, they get more than 100,000 people here to celebrate garlic, everything garlic. There's garlic ice cream. There's all these different things for families to do. One of the main attractions throughout the weekend is the music piece of it. And as we've been hearing this morning, that's where it appears at the end of last night on Sunday, as the last music event was taking place, that's when the gunman opened fire. And as you've heard, I think really, I think the tone here is that this is a heartbreaking situation, especially for this community where this is supposed to be just such a wonderful event for families. You could hear in that soundbite that you just played a second ago from that woman, there's a lot of fear and panic. There's been talk of a second suspect that they haven't tracked down as of right now that we know of. Will be updated in a press conference a little bit later on this morning. But many people, this is a residential area surrounding the Garlic Festival, so people were told to stay inside their homes. So there's been a lot of fear, and I think people just so sad that this happened in their small community.
It seemed like, at least from some of the video, we could see people running, but there were also buses. Were people sort of bussed in and out of the festival?
So it's my understanding that volunteers had a pretty quick plan in place that if something were to go wrong, they were able to funnel people. And you can see in some of the video people kind of pushing people to certain exits out of the festival area. When we got on scene here, we're at the main spot where investigators are still continuing to do their work. You can see this police officer right here. We've seen this all night coming and going. There was a bus parked right in front here, and they were getting people, witnesses, and putting them in blankets and making sure they were okay before they could get rides home. So it did seem that there was some type of plan that if in an emergency situation they could funnel people to these different sites. We know for a fact, I talked to two of the people on the bus when I first got here that had been part of the organization itself. This is run by volunteers throughout the community, and it's a fundraiser for local schools and other charities here. And two of them were vendors at a pottery setup that had been here at the festival. And what they told me is that they heard the pop, pop, pop. They actually saw the gunman walk in front of them. The woman described the gunman as thin, 20 to 30 years old, in tactical clothing, and a white male. So she was still pretty shaken up, but they were getting a ride home and very happy to be getting out of this area, Anne-Marie.
That's really interesting. And give me a sense of what the area is like. You mentioned like a residential area. I'm looking at the map of the festival, and I can see that, one whole sort of the north side, there's a creek. It's hard to determine based on this map just how big it is. There's not much more on the map. I mean, is this a place that's easy to get to if you're driving or walking? Would you need to have a car to get to it?
Well, it's very residential, and that creek that you just pointed out, that's what many witnesses say, that they believe that the gunman was able to cut a hole in some fencing along that creek and enter, because I can tell you right here, this was the entryway to the festival itself. And from what I'm told, security is very tight here. People come through this way, they have their bags checked, that kind of thing. So the gunman apparently knew that and was able to cut a hole through the fence along that creek. But it's a pretty suburban type of neighborhood. It's like like I said, it's less than 60,000 people. It's known as a very quiet area. We're south of San Jose. This is kind of a sleepy bedroom community, and the Garlic Festival is the biggest thing that they have happen all year long, and it's such a fundraiser for the community itself. I can only describe it as tight-knit. You could easily park on some of the side streets, but as you're driving in, because there's so many people who come to this festival, I can tell you that along the highway there was parking where then people were able to be bussed in from different parking lots. The signs were still up saying Garlic Festival parking, park here, we'll take you in. So it's one of those things. The shooter may have been able to get in here, park and walk, or he may have known the area. We're just not sure quite yet. We hope to get that update a little bit later this morning.
Yeah, I'm sure if he did drive in, police are probably actively looking for his vehicle somewhere in the area. Jamie, thank you very much.